if a particular hack or productivity tip doesn't work for you, it wasn't meant to. And that isn't a personal failure. It's not a commentary on your value or your ability to do things as a person. I've come to realize that essentially this whole journey of trying to build a life that works for you and building systems that are catered to your needs is basically a massive experiment. In experiments, some things will go how we plan them to or how we expect them to, and some things will go against our hypothesis, and some outcomes will be complete outliers. This is something that I've had to learn in several versions of the hard way, between burnout, shutdowns, just feelings and seasons of overwhelm. And I used to feel like so much shame when a hack that was supposed to be life-changing or meant to work for everyone just didn't. For example, the idea that when you don't feel like doing something is the time that you have to push through, because that constitutes consistency and discipline, is something that I always struggled with, because typically when I didn't feel like doing something, it wasn't just an emotion, it was genuinely a physical body response to being overwhelmed. But because I thought that I needed to push through, I would try to, and I would push myself to the point of burnout, because I didn't realize it then, but I was always pretty close to burnout already when I started to have those feelings. One thing that I've realized works for me really well is the idea that if my nervous system says no, it's a no. I've come to the conclusion that for me, periods of low executive functioning are my brain's way of giving me a stop signal. It's my brain's way of saying it's either not now, not this, or not in this way. Either I just need a break from the thing entirely for now and I will have the energy later if I take the break, or I'm not meant to be doing this thing and it's not aligned with me, and on a subconscious level I know that, or the way I'm going about it isn't something that works for me. And I've learned to really, really listen to that. But this is just to say that you have no obligation to make a particular way of doing things fit you. The systems that we build for ourselves are there to serve us, and if they don't serve us, then it is our responsibility and our right to get rid of those ones, stop trying to lean into those ones, and see what does work for us as individuals. As someone who is neurodivergent as well, I will say that a lot of the hacks that I have seen over time have been very much for neurotypical people by neurotypical people, and they haven't necessarily taken the way that my brain functions into account. Those things not necessarily working for me in the same way that they would work for someone else is okay. It makes sense. Everything is not going to work for everyone. I think before I used to feel tremendous amounts of shame and guilt for the fact that I couldn't make certain things work when actually they just weren't for me and they weren't designed to work for me. Praise Ara, the person. And so yeah, if it doesn't work, it's because it's not meant to, and that's your cue to find something different and lean into something else that may work for you, rather than leaning into feeling shame at yet another productivity hack that has failed. It's not your job to make it work, it's your job to find what does. And that's it. And keep going until you find what does. And for my ADHDers, understand that the novelty of a hack that has worked or a tip that has worked may wear off, and it might start rendering it a little less effective, and that again is nothing to feel shame about. It's just a cue to find something new and lean into something new, and potentially develop a rotation of things that work at different points. But more than anything, listen to your body, listen to your brain. If your nervous system says no, it's a no. And if something doesn't work for you, there is something else that will. You will come up with things that help you feel like you're achieving the things that you want to achieve. But there is no force and no pressure to make specific things work. But that's it for this chapter of Notes for the Journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.